30 times. Ten times more. Two times more. Letting go and stop.
A child below 7 has a lower vibration than consciousness. It's called theta. Theta is imagination. Oh, that's how kids play a tea party with mud pies, but to them it's a real thing. A kid rides a broom, it's a horse. That's theta, imagination. Theta is also hypnosis. And the idea is this: before you can become conscious, if you don't have any programs, what are you going to be conscious of? It's sort of like I buy a new iPod and I take it out of the box and I push play and nothing happens, and you think, oh my God, I spent all the money and the damn thing isn't working. And then some little 7-year-old kid comes up and says, well, mister, you didn't download any music. How are you going to play something? And I go, that's the same thing. It's like the brain is like the iPod. Consciousness is the screen where I can create. But if I don't have anything in the hard drive, I can't create. So nature makes the first 7 years. What kind of programs are required to live on this planet? I say, how do you get them? Theta is hypnosis. You just watch. You watch your parents, you watch your siblings, and your community, because you have to learn how many 100,000 rules. Think about it. Just to be a functional member of a family and a functional member of a community, there are rules. Teach an infant these rules. I say, oh, you don't have to. First 7 years, they observe it and just download it. And then I say, well, why is it relevant? Because this is the unfortunate fact. 95% of our life, this is a fact, comes from those programs in the subconscious. Every day, only about 5% of their life are you using conscious, which is creative. 5%.
So your life is being lived, even though you think you're living your life.
Exactly, and you don't see it because it's called subconscious, below conscious. And the Jesuits, for 400 years, they were boasting. People didn't understand. They say, give me a child until it's 7 and I will show you the man. They've been saying that for 400 years because they knew 7 years was the program period. And 95% of your life after that will be whatever that program is. So Angelina Jolie runs in a family where there is cancer. And I say, yeah, they have the gene. I say, that didn't cause it. It was the behavior that was passed on. Behavior is passed on, not like genes. It's passed on through families, but it's passed on through learning.
Thirty times. 10 times more. Two times more. Letting go and stop.
In families.
Okay. In your lecture on the biology of belief, you made this analogy at the end of a camera and then an eye, and how the camera kind of inverts the image and puts it on the film, and yet with our eye, we invert the image and then we put it through a filter in our brains.
Right.
And this is what you're talking about. The first 7 years of your life puts a filter on everything.
Absolutely. How do you behave?
Right.
Yeah.
There's millions of rules, so you and I can look at two separate things, or two things, and completely have different conclusions.
Right, and it's just based on how you grew up, what you see. You know, look, this is not new. I mean, there's the famous book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Sure.
And basically said you come from a poor family and you could struggle your whole life and try to get rich, but you're not going to make it. And if you come from a rich family, you could be stupid your whole life, Donald Trump, and make it. Not because it was thinking, but it was unconscious behavior that was downloaded from rich families into kids, which is unconscious. So they're making the right moves unconsciously. If they engage their conscious mind, then they look stupid, but it's unconscious. And that's the same thing with poor people. Poor people have beliefs from the family. Oh, you can't make it, life's a struggle, things are hard, who do you think you are? And if that's the program you get, then 95% of the day you will sabotage yourself. And that's why poor people stay poor and rich people stay rich, because the programming.
Yeah, I've had Robert Kiyosaki on the show. It's a great
Oh,
book.
well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to raise our children differently. Is that what you're saying?
100%.
What do we
Conscious
do?
parenting.
What do we do?
Well, we have to recognize, number one, that 95% of our behavior is coming from subconscious. So a child is going to record for 7 years, and they're going to record you. You have a new baby. That baby is going to look at you because you are the parent. The first thing a baby learns in the first week or two of life, who's the parent? Very important, because that's the reference point. If anything goes in their life, they're going to look at the parent first thing. A child on a playground is on a swing, falls off the swing on the ground. First thing it does is look at the parent. If the mother's like, ha, the kid starts crying. But if the mother goes, get up and get back on the swing, the kid gets back up on the swing. It's reflection. So you have to recognize a child is going to observe every move of you. Then you also have to recognize, well, hell, if 95% of it is coming from my invisible programming, I'm going to pass on the family pattern unconsciously 95% of the day.
Family, country, society, pattern.
That whole pattern, the pattern of growing up, the programming.
Okay. Unless I make a conscious effort.
The conscious effort to change your programming, it's very hard to stay conscious. This is why we always go back into the subconscious, because when you're thinking, that's a conscious mind function.
Thirty times. Ten times more. 2 times more. Letting go and stop.
So, Brian, what are you doing on Tuesday? If I ask you that, the answer's not out here, it's inside. So the moment you're thinking, you let go of driving the vehicle because you went inside. I go, well, it doesn't mean whatever you're doing, you stop walking or driving the car or doing a job. Those are programs in the subconscious because you've repeated them over and over again. So the subconscious is autopilot. When the conscious is busy, autopilot drives the vehicle. The point is, when conscious is busy, it's not observing what's going on. So let's say we're having this conversation in a car, and I've been driving for 10 minutes, and we've had this great conversation, and all of a sudden I look out the window, I go, I haven't paid attention to the road while we have the conversation. But I go back and say, can I say what the conversation was about? Yeah, we talked about this and this and this. And I say, and what was on the road during that 10 minutes? You go, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. See, that's when the subconscious, so I say, how was your driving? And I go, it was whatever way you learned how to drive. If you had a bad driving instructor, then you were driving 10 minutes with lousy driving.
Okay, so how can I change that then? I need to be more conscious of my subconscious?
You have to be conscious of you see, here's the problem. 7 years is programming. And I say, well, what program did you get when you were 0 or 1? You go, I have no idea what the hell the program was. And I say, 95% of your life is coming from the subconscious. Your life is a printout of your subconscious behavior. So you don't have to try and think about what happened. I just say, look at your life. The things you like that come into your life come in because you have a program that supports them. But anything you struggle with, work hard at, put a lot of effort into making it happen, why you're working so hard, inevitably you have a program that doesn't support that conclusion, and you're trying to override the program. So you don't need to do a lot of shrink and psychology stuff. You just look at your life and say, where am I struggling? Because wherever you're struggling, inevitably it's a program in your subconscious that does not support that destination you've been looking for.
Okay, so it's all, the evidence is all there. You take an honest look at your life and your history, whether it's anything in your life, relationships or business or this or that, and then that'll point to you where there's some kind of incongruence.
Right. I mean, go back to Angelina Jolie.
Right.
She could look at her life and she could say, I could look at the gene and say the gene caused the cancer. I say, no, look at your life, because that behavior was passed from your mother to you, and she got it from your grandmother, and et cetera. And it's a history. It's
your parents
connected.
Who are also actors, starved for attention, angry, you no longer talk to them, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, so now we recognize that, then we try to make a conscious change, which is very difficult.
Now that's where the problem comes from.
All right.